Oh boy, we got some more Johnny Somali updates. What happened? What happened since like literally yesterday? Apparently some crazy stuff. More from Legal Mindset. Somebody was saying like he's a snitch. What do you mean he's a snitch? Like, get that shit out of here, man. These people are criminals. Criminals need to be locked up. And then they called me a snitch, and I was just like, bro, if there's somebody being a criminal doing criminal shit, I'm calling the cops. Like, are you serious? What do you mean? Okay, well, anyway, let's check this out.
It has gotten much worse for Ramzi Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali. I'm here today, Legal Mindset, American attorney over here in Asia, and this is, of course, the channel where we teach you to be your own judge. It has gotten so much worse for Johnny Somali today, and we have some post-trial updates that I wanted to give you some fresh information, up-to-date information on the case, the latest, the greatest, all of the information here as this thing develops, because this case of Ramzi Khalid Ismail, Johnny Somali, it changes day to day, minute to minute. There's always more information on this.
And you never know when dude's just gonna have a moment.
Updates, commentary from people inside of Korea, from lawyers, people with experience in the legal system that I want to bring to you fresh and accurate so you have the best information on this, which is the wildest case I have ever covered. As one of the Fast Facts series, of course, this is the abbreviated version. If you want to catch the full version, that will be my live on my channel that will have all the video, all the extra stuff, all the memes, all the fun stuff, all the comments on my channel. But
yeah, they're really long though, so I can't react to those, so I'm not going to watch it.
Of course, let's get into the post-trial update. This is yet another update following the March 16th trial, March 16th, 2025 trial of Johnny Somali. Now, of course, in this case, in this hearing, we had him pleading guilty to additional charges and also pleading not guilty to additional charges. Now, one big change I'm making going forward is I am renaming obstruction of business to interference with business because that is more accurate, and it also avoids confusion because many who are familiar with the American legal system, you know the term obstruction of justice. It is nothing related to that. It's actually interference with business interference. That we're talking about with the charge with Johnny Somali. So I relabeled this on this chart and kind of updated this with the latest and greatest information. So the first three counts, we already had information from the first hearing, the hearing that I was at months ago.
So he's definitely doing some time at least. I think he'll do like 3 years, maybe a year, but I'm thinking 3 years. I'm feeling 3 years. 3 years feels good to me.
That is the interference with business for throwing ramen, for disrupting the 7-Eleven. Now, the funny thing is that Johnny Somali continues to say that is all he is charged with. However, that is absolutely, of course, like everything Ramzi says, a lie.
I don't even know why he's lying about that. Like, why does he lie so much about this stuff when it doesn't matter and everybody knows? Is he doing it on purpose to, like, stir up more drama and more people talking about it? Because, like, it's still, I don't understand. Why? This dude's like one of the most confusing, idiotic people that I've ever seen ever.
Is charged with now 7 separate criminal counts, including a brand new charge, a charge that even I did not know about until today, which is an absolute bombshell, which may change the entire case and really end Johnny Somali, as well as it may end his ally, Hank Han Jong-yu, as well. We're going to talk about that today and also in the future. So he pled guilty for that last time, as well as for the Minor Crimes Act 1 and 2 of harassing people with a rotting fish and disturbing the bus and metro. But we found out today about the next interference business count, which was actually loud music on the bus. And this is a little additional note, which I got from my translators, and I did not mention on my previous streams or updates. It was actually for monkey noises. Yes, you heard that correctly. Monkey noises.
What? What? Maybe because people don't really understand English words, especially slang stuff for like internet sex memes.
He was making monkey noises while playing loud music, and that was a fact that the prosecutor brought up. Yes, that's very much true. Now, like I've said, making a bus late in Korea is very much per se automatic interference because you're messing up the entire system. By delaying the bus driver, by keeping him from doing his job, it messes up every single bus and makes everybody late, makes everybody tardy. And Korea is very much a society.
Yeah, and it causes them to have to pay more money to people because more people are going to have to do more work. They're probably going to have to get somebody to come take over some things, maybe take over a shift. You know, it costs a lot of money whenever things get out of whack.
That is punctual and on time. He did plead guilty to that, decisively guilty to that. Then he had deep fake counts 1 and 2. The first count is for a male streamer kissing. There's at least 2 people, possibly more, that are involved in that.
He's probably pleading not guilty because he thinks that they're not that bad. So he's like, well, man, like, I can only be guilty if it was something that I kind of feel bad about. And I don't really feel bad about that, so not guilty. That's not how that works.
One of which I am pretty certain is Dalgoon, who is the UDT Special Forces, aka the Korean Navy SEAL, who punched him. He is very likely one of those people. There are others as well that are involved in that. He did plead not guilty to that. Also, there's the count for Bong Bong, the female streamer. He also pled not guilty to that. And then there's an interference count 3. Now, this is...
I don't think the not guilty pleas are going to work on those because they're obvious that they happened. They might get dismissed, but I don't think they're gonna fly with the not guilty.
The new one, this is the bombshell, the one we've all been waiting for, Lotte World, and this one may end him because remember, Lotte World has a massive amount of resources and they have a huge interest in pursuing any criminal complaint they go forward with, and they have decided to go forward with this one. Now, to talk about this one, we got to go to the next page, a legal mishap.
Yeah, this is what I'm here for, man. I want to know about that new charge.
So this is a new one. It was actually procedurally, it was included along with deepfake count number 2. So when those were brought over from the Eastern District, they packaged them together. So in the record, it was not clear there was an obstruction charge. So going into today, we thought there were 6 charges. There's actually 7. This adds 5 years to the potential maximum. So you can now safely report that he faces up to 36 years behind bars, 36 years of prison time, which is a pretty large amount. Now,
yeah, he's definitely not getting that though. I'm sticking with my 3 years.
Typically, Korean courts don't give the maximum, but once again, it's moving us further and further up the line for potential time for Ramzi Khalid Ismail.
I guarantee we're going to get a few more charges added on too.
Now, Ramzi today claimed he pled not guilty. He said, hey, I pled not guilty. I pled not guilty to all the new stuff. That is...
Yeah, and that don't matter. If they think you said that you're guilty and they wrote it down and it went through the process and they filed the paperwork, bureaucracy, man, it's a bitch.
Is not correct according to the record that we have so far in the media. And by record, I mean the record from the translators on the Somali conviction team. That's my team that was in the courtroom and reporting on this. I've now reviewed at the end of the day. It took me several hours to review everybody's notes. Everybody had him really as guilty. Now, his lawyer does have an accent. It was kind of hard to understand him, and the way he phrased it was weird. But the media and everybody is reporting it as guilty, that he pled guilty. So we're going to see at that next trial if he tries to back off of that and say he's not guilty. We will see about that one. But the thing about this charge is there is really no defense for it. Why is there no defense? Well, there's no defense
because he fucking did it and it's on camera. That's why. Oh, dude, like, documented his entire crash out. I said crash out again. I gotta stop saying that phrase.
Because a ride was shut down. We have the video, I've shown it on this channel, of a ride being shut down. If a ride is shut down, you have interfered with a business. It's clear cut, it's open and closed.
Yeah, it changes the way the schedule works for the entire day. It changes how much money you're gonna make the entire day. You have to spend more money to get the thing up and running again. Shutting it down causes you to lose money because people aren't riding it, the people who paid money.
We have it on video. There's no debating that. There's no opting that. Because of his actions, but for his actions, that's causality in the legal term, that ride would not be shut down. So there's pretty much no defense. So even if he does plead not guilty, it'll kind of just be an annoyance, really, because, you know, he's clearly guilty of this. There's really no way around it. Now,
him pleading not guilty is probably going to up the charge, too. They might have had it in their minds like maybe he'll do a year for this, but him pleading not guilty means it's going to drag out even longer and it's going to be more work. So they're just going to be like, well, 5 years then.
There is something about the legal strategy, and this kind of segues in because, you know, perhaps it was a misspeak on part of the lawyer, perhaps it was some confusion, and there is a new private attorney that took over Ramsey's case a week ago. There's no more public defender. Now, there's nothing to indicate any sort of inexperience on the part of this lawyer. In fact, he's kind of handled this in a normal way. He filed a defense motion 2 days ago. Now, at that point, he had not seen the full trial record. Now, that's not to say that's abnormal. I had some time speaking today with somebody who has experience in the Korean system, a lawyer who has experience in the Korean system, and they let me know it's very normal, in fact, to file just a defense motion right away when you come on a case. And that motion might say, hey, we just got on this case and I really don't know what's going on. And that's actually pretty normal.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good defense as a lawyer. Like, hey, I'm new, and like I just got on. Like, I have no idea what's going on. You got to give me time.
In terms of a motion, they can always file supplementary motions, additional motions in the future. And I think we're very likely to see future defense filings before the next trial in August. So nothing really super abnormal about that. And once again, this is all based on speculation, based on really hearsay that I'm hearing from people in the courtroom about this defense motion. We don't know what's in it yet. Of course, I'm just a simple country lawyer, a simple Florida lawyer, observing a foreign system from Thailand, right? So I'm observing Korea from Thailand. I'm not a Korean lawyer. I'm not in the Korean system, but it just seems very interesting about that motion. So we're going to see where that's going, and we're going to see if there's any additional filings. Nothing horribly abnormal, but it's just very interesting to see if perhaps in a future filing, they do try to go back and they do try to change that look at world charge and do try to fight that. I don't think there's a good defense for that. I think it's an open and shut case, but we're going to see about that. We also had some impressions of the judge. This is new information that I got from the Somali conviction team, and they let me know what they thought about the judge. And apparently, based on observations by them, of course, that's Dr. Ulrich and others. You guys have seen Dr. Ulrich on my interviews, and several others in the Somali conviction team. So this is, of course, their speculation based on their observations. So, you know, you can look at somebody and think one thing, it could be others. So I'm just relaying what they are speculating. But according to them, who were in the courtroom today, the judge seemed in disbelief over the not guilty plea. So he did not seem happy over that. He seemed like he was expecting Johnny just to plead guilty. So seemed a little bit annoyed by that. And it seems like the case before was a very sympathetic case with a disabled defendant, and the judge had a lot of sympathy in that case. So maybe juxtaposed, balanced against Johnny's claims where, Johnny is clearly on video and there's clear evidence he did most things. The judge was not having a good day, perhaps, and in light of what was going on, might have been kind of annoyed. He also seemed annoyed over the unsigned paperwork. The filing that was made by the lawyer was unsigned. He seemed annoyed over that. Now, that's a minor procedural mistake. It's not going to mess anything up in the case. He just seemed like he was pretty annoyed today.
And that's always not a good thing when a judge is annoyed. That means like you're getting the maximum, most likely. Everything that can be done to you probably will be done to you.
And the observation that the folks in the courtroom said was the judge might be inclined to just do what the prosecutors say. I mean, if he's annoyed, if he's bothered, he might just give whatever sentence the prosecutor lays down without, lessening it or making it worse.
Especially if he doesn't like Johnny Somali and he's tired of this whole situation, wants it to be over, keeps hearing about it in the news, doesn't want to talk about it no more, just wants to be done. Yeah, he'll just be like, all right, well, I've had enough of this. Prosecutors, do your thing.
Or sorry, lessening it or making it less time in prison or less punishment for Johnny, which is bad for Johnny. So essentially, if the judge just takes the prosecutor's recommendation, at this point, it's not looking good.
Johnny better, not mess up any at all. He's going to have to become a normal person, at least while this whole thing's going on, from now on, because his ass is on the line, man.
Now, what happened with the media? This is very interesting. So on today, this is a excerpt, a direct quote from the Korean media that was there today. Somali entered the courtroom wearing a MAGA hat and made a tongue-in-cheek pose with his tongue sticking out. He took off his hat in court as required, but put it back on after the trial was over. So the MAGA hat was just for show. He took it off and put it back on. He didn't make a show. He didn't fight. He didn't do any of that bravado stuff. And here's the biggest part. So last time he raised the middle finger and cursed out a female Korean reporter outside the courtroom. However, this time, compared to last time where he was full of machismo, he was cocky, he was confident, he looked broken. He looked confused, and he remained completely silent when he was asked the exact same question as last time.
Yeah, because before he was just talking to street cops. Now he's talking to actual legal people who are like, they might put you away for life. You need to quit fucking around, dude, or you're gonna actually lose your entire life.
Last time he said, do you think Korea is a vassal state of the United States? He was asked that question last time. Last time he answered, I love North Korea, hail the CCP, all that good stuff. I love Kim Jong-un, I love CCP, I love North Korea. He answered that when he said, do you think they're a vassal state? This time he didn't answer anything. He remained silent. He also remained silent as, how are you paying for your lawyer's fees? So
Hank, most likely. Hank's probably paying it, or his family or something.
once again, the Korean media is very interested in the fact that Johnny is broke and is interested in that hanky poo, Han Jung-yu, is really funding him. He's really the sugar daddy of Ramzi Khalid Ismail, and they wanted to ask.
You could call them butt buddies. They're butt buddies. Butt buddies.
Ask about that there. So these are things that were very important to the Korean media. We're going to see how they cover this in the days to come. This is just some preliminary coverage I wanted to bring to you guys. Also, this is a big one. Hank raged outside the courtroom and cursed out bystanders and insulted their mothers. Ramzi warned Hank to stop crashing out.
Stop using that phrase.
Ramzi and Hank accidentally also walked into the basement. Now, here's the big thing I wanted to open up and talk about, is that Hank may have opened himself up to criminal action, criminal liability. By cursing out people, by making fun of them, cursing them out, and I'm not going to play the footage because I want to keep this safe for YouTube. YouTube has been very angry about some of the Hank and Johnny language, so I want to keep this PG-13. If you want to see the full footage, you can look at my live, in which I will play the video. But to paraphrase it, he uses the F word, he curses people out. And
which one? Which F word?
Says F your mother, this and that, and is cursing out people outside the courtroom. In Korea, insult is indeed a criminal act, and because this was outside of the courtroom, that could be contempt of court. So anybody who was there in court, whether that's a journalist or a bystander or a foreigner, it doesn't matter. Anyone who was there can go to the police station, go to the Songpai police station. And
did he forget that he's not American? Like, he's Korean? You don't have free speech, bro. What are you doing?
Mapo, and you can turn in a police report against Ramzi, which I think could be taken very seriously. Excuse me, not against Ramzi, against Hank.
And somebody will do it. They'll definitely do it. This is too big. Too many people know him.
Now, Hank has previously been very careful about keeping himself out of criminal trouble, but he may have opened himself up here, and this would be a big change in the case to get Hank added on with some criminal action for insult, which once again in Korea is a criminal act. So that may be some good news in prosecuting Hank if someone decides to come forward and do a police report on that.
And if they throw that dude in jail or slap him with some more fines, it's going to be even more difficult for him to support his butt body.
Also, I want to put out here that the next trial date, there's some updates on this information. In the Western Courthouse, Seoul, South Korea, room 406, August 13th, 4 p.m. Now, we had some updates. So we previously thought there were going to be 4 witnesses, and there may be 4 witnesses, but we're not sure. So if there's only one witness, we could see his trial at 4 p.m. go for about 90 minutes. Now, if there's many witnesses, 3, 4, 5, whatever, it's going to go to 4 or 5 hours. So I'd previously said 4 to 5 hours. We may have as short as 90, as long as 4 to 5. They'll be direct, they'll be cross. And the difference is, will it just be Bong Bong? We are almost 100% certain that Bong Bong will be testifying at the next court case. But if it's just Bong Bong, probably 90 minutes, probably a short day. However, if the other deepfake victims show up, Daegun, the other Korean streamers, it's something that could go on for 4 to 5 hours. So it's something that could go on pretty long. The other thing, which is very interesting, which I want to bring up and which came up afterwards, was some of Johnny's shenanigans. In case you guys haven't had a chance to check this out, of course, I did a separate video on this, and you can check this out.
Is it the Kanye West black hooded thing? I think that's what he's about to pull up.
at your leisure. But of course, Johnny was doing some cosplay afterwards. Now, he had said he was going to do this on his court date, that he was going to come dressed like this, but he decided to wear this black hood. It has come out that he is clearly trying to look like Kanye West in his kind of get up here. He was, you can see him here with Hank, who's acting as his Instagram boyfriend.
Yeah, I think there's something that's gotten into these people online, particularly like black people, not saying like all black people. It's just like this small percentage of black people who just, you know, are all into the Kanye stuff and are just like Kanye and doing these crazy things like Kanye for clout. Like, they don't actually mean anything. They don't actually participate in any of these weird racist things that they do. And they say racist things. But I think they're all just evil and retarded. And they're just doing crazy things because it gets clicks, or doesn't. They think it gets clicks.
Recording him and making some video there. He's now, I cannot play Johnny's video. Johnny did put out his video on this because it contains extreme racism. It contains hateful remarks towards various races. But this was his court gimmick, which absolutely 100% failed, because he was trying to pretend that this is something he was going to do at court. But indeed, he did not do this at court. This did not happen at all. And this is...
Maybe he realized that, hey, maybe I should stop doing crazy things in court because they're going to put me in prison for life if I do.
Something that just look embarrassing, because it's really two men alone on a roof doing cosplay, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, they are butt buddies.
We will have more updates for you as we go. The biggest one of which is how the Lotte World charges may result in action even in the United States, which could end Ramsey forever.
Wow. Okay. Holy shit, I didn't expect that. See, I already knew about all this stuff in this video, but that part, hearing him say that was worth rewatching all this drama again. Damn. All right.
We'll get to that on a future stream. Make sure to like this video, and I'll catch.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Absolutely insane. Holy shit, Johnny Somali is so cooked. I can't wait. I'm gonna keep covering it probably every day. Because things keep changing every day. More stuff adds on. New stories come to light. I can't wait to see what comes out about him tomorrow or in the next day. Apparently some new stuff just dropped as I was making this video. So tomorrow I'm definitely gonna have another Johnny Somali video. So stay in tune for that. I got t-shirts down there in the description, or a mug or hat or whatever. Whole bunch of stuff. Stickers. Buy one. I'm out.